Nobody could have had greater barriers than George had to overcome. He was, apart from being blind, he's very, very deaf. He only has the use of one hand. He had no skills whatsoever at the age of 56, and he's overcome all of those obstacles.
When I went blind, if you excuse the going back, I used to have this feeling that I was living behind it at the Iron Curtain. It stood between me and the outside world, and it still does in a way.
When his mother died in 1986, he was left entirely on his own. He was a totally blind man. He'd lived as a complete recluse for 30 years, hadn't been outside of the house. He hadn't heard of Mrs. Thatcher, he knew nothing about decimal coinage, but he took the extremely brave decision of trying to find what life had to offer him. It took him 10 years of battling against the establishment to make progress.
I had no friends or relations, I used to sit and be at home on my own, and from social service buses took me to Alma Centre once a week to start with on the blind day, and picked me up and brought me back. There I didn't know anybody very much, I just sat and then brought home, and then I went and waited till the next time I went out on the bus, because I didn't go out anywhere else, because there was no such thing as a mobility training or awareness training in those days.
He wanted every other blind person coming after him to have a much easier path. He was determined that no other blind person would have to go through what he went through.
We called this protest meeting, and a group of people attended, and resolved to set up an activist group who were trying to agitate for a better deal for blind and visually impaired people. We went on, and gradually then the blind people's voice grew out of this.
So we've gone from nothing. We started with £15, now we've got 3 staff, big offices, and a bright future.
When I started going to night school and adult education class, teachers chalking things on the backboard or things of that sort. I couldn't write notes down. There was no way of getting sort of notice of what was actually being done and said. I was halfway through the term before I got anything at all to read in Braille. I used to get a Braille pay for the Brailing myself. Now we do it, and educational authorities pay for it.
Well, it's George who set the example. He's the inspiration behind it all. Without George, nothing would have happened.
At the time, I would say 20 years ago, to even 15 years ago, well, probably 10 years ago, I never believed I'd be able to do as much as I do or achieved as much.
George has been an inspiration, and he's achieved something lasting for the benefit of many, many blind people.